This is part 2 of the A1 Serviceman Pro Tour. We're going to start out by showing where we left off, the customer appointment. This is a printable form. You can use a search or find rather to locate dates and times and build a report, then use the preview to show it as it prints. To get back to the previous screen, click on the name of the report in the title bar. Takes you back. Then there's a report. This report has a lot more emphasis on printing for the actual appointment, going out on an appointment. It gives you the several different things to pick from as far as using a find, and then you can print out by either a date or a time or whatever is appropriate for your service company. Let's return back. The next one we're going to talk about is we're going to go over to the quote section and look at a quote. A quote is where you actually have the client. It's an ID by the quote number. You can put items in by using the drop-down list. You add the quantities, the price. You can adjust the price if you give a discount. And then obviously it does the line totals, uses the tax rate if it's in the inventory system. And you can see it's quote number 1 here. This becomes important later. There's also a long quote. This is about a 28 line, and you can print a complete quote list for as many lines as you need to. Notice that we do have the international money symbol in this screen. Let's go back to the main menu. The next one is the quote portal. This is the portal for the individual items that are on the quote list, where you can put a narrative in here if you need to for notes. It basically has the same information. Then there's the customer invoice quote. This is the quote itself that you could print. If you go to the preview mode, you'll see that it shows just what's going to print, and then exit the preview to come back. Click on the service code ID to come back to the actual quote screen. Then you can go back to the main screen again. We're going to look at the list view. This is the list view of all quotes. You can pick the one you want and then go to that particular quote. And then it summarizes the quotes that are out there. There is a service order, list view. The quote can also be run. This is the long view of the quote, where you follow the instructions, and it allows you to go ahead and print a long form for as many rows as you want to. Now we're going to go to the service order. The service order is after the quote, and what there is at the bottom is the quote by its ID, and you can pick the ID by scrolling to it. After it becomes a job and you're going to actually enter it into an invoice, you can use the ID to correspond to the lines that are here, picking the item that is shown down here, and then adding the other narrative across the top. In this area, it's going to show you the current stock level. In this case, the sample records don't have any inventory purchased in them now, so there is a negative number. The item at the end of the row, the icon, will take you to the individual portal record in the service order. You can receive payments in the receive payment screen, and there's also a long service order like the quote, where you can print it for many, many lines if you need to. What I was stating before, you can see all the quotes that are in here by their numeric number, and use the scroll bar to scroll down to pick the one that you want to actually duplicate as an actual invoice. The service order invoice itself is like the quote. You click the preview to go ahead and show that individual service order. Let's go back to the main menu. Then there's the sales track. What the sales track does is list all the items for an inventory item as to what has been sold and what is the cost that it was sold at. And you can go into the inventory item itself, the customer information, and the inventory service order itself for which that was sold on. Next is the service order list view, which lists all the service orders that are out there that have been printed and are created, so you can pick one if you need one by the actual ID number. And the last item in the service order on this side is the long invoice, which can be as long as you need to in order to print as many as you need to. There is the service portal, which I'm not going to show. I'm going to jump down and show you the payment screen. The payment screen basically takes the invoice, and you can show the payments. You can put as many as you want in here. It's infinite. And you can show the balance that's due based on the actual information that's put in here. The unpaid balance, amount paid, and the balance due carries back down the balance due, amount paid, and then it shows how it was paid either by check, deposit, and information. And there's also a portal to show the information on this. These are UDF fields, user-defined fields, where you can put whatever you want on any one line. These two are text. This one is a numeric number. So if you want to show something in there, you can change the title or change the actual input for that particular screen. So you can alter this in any way you want, invoice by invoice. And this is the service order report, and this is a sales by item. So each item that's been sold, you will be able to tell what invoice it was on, what date it was sold, and what the item was. And you can group these using a find to see the actual sales and dates and times and information about all those sales. And then it's summarized at the bottom. Whenever you group it, it'll be summarizing that group. So this is the part that it talks about quotes and service orders. We'll go on to the next section in a new video.